Good morning, everyone. My name is Samuel Lequin. I'm the sales director from MXC in Canada. Today, it's a special day. It's our first experience. It's our first webinar on the internet. And I'm doing this with my colleague and supplier in Denmark, one of my friends, Karsten Larsen. As you're going to see, Karsten is one of a kind. He knows a lot of stuff with the brush, and I hope that you're going to enjoy. So just for people who don't know really me and MXC is one of the biggest converter of coated abrasive in Canada. We supply United States, Canada, and a little bit more in the south of America, but not too much. But just for experience, myself and I will say Michel Lequin as well, have more than 30 years of experience in abrasive, so we know a lot of stuff. I've been in Denmark, I would say, in the beginning of 2011 to learn a little bit more about that kind of brushes and what is make difference to use that brushes. So for people who don't have any concept or brush at their office, don't worry, you will learn a little bit more today of what you maybe is going to be interesting for you in the future to invest. And for the people who have already brushes, sometimes it's very important to see the difference between some company, to see how we can improve your process and how we can, just change, sometimes grid sequence, RPMs, things like that, just to improve, the finishing part, scratch pattern, things like that. So I hope today is going to be a very good webinar for you. I'm going to wish you that we're going to answer all your questions. Feel free to give me a call or an email. It's going to be a pleasure. And I'm going to wish you a very good webinar with my friend Karsten Larsen. And take care. Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So thank you, Sam. And thank you for initiating this initiative by having the first webinar. And we would like to welcome you all here to our showroom in Flexstrøm, Denmark. For those of you who don't know Flexstrøm, we have been in brush sanding for more than 25 years, and so we believe that we have earned ourselves quite a bit of experience over the years. Originally we came from the woodworking industry, but today we are also supplying both metal and composites. But today we are mainly focusing on what we can do on wood. But I'm sure that you didn't sign up for this webinar to hear about the history of Flexstrøm. Today, here at our showroom, we have myself, Karsten Larsen. I'm the sales and production manager at Flexstrøm. We have Jan, our technical manager, and behind the camera we have Martin, who is taking care of running the chat and making sure that everything is up and running here. If you have questions through this session, write them in the chat, write them to Sam, or write them directly here in the chat, and we'll try to answer them either throughout the process or we'll summarize at the end. But don't hesitate to ask any kind of questions. That's what we're here for. So the target today is that we'll try to take you step by step through the process from manual sanding with handheld machines and all the way up to industrial solutions, also using robots, using feed-through machines, and whatever we have here in our showroom. So I hope that you'll enjoy what we have to show you today. Some of the things we have made is pre-recorded. The videos that we're going to show, we've done that to make sure that you get the best chance of seeing the details. But again, don't hesitate to answer any questions. We would love to answer them in the best possible way. The first thing we're going to show you is something about our handheld tools. And I'll leave the word to Jan, who is the technical guy here.
Okay, thank you very much. We have in Flexstrøm, we have a different part of hand machine. We have this one here. This is our electricity one, where you can run it with a cylinder head. As well, we have the pneumatic one, where we can use it with a disc head, but of course also with a cylinder head. What you shall look at the video is that the way the sanding system is following the profile at the items. And the reason for that, we can do that is we have different cut in the paper, small and bigger, and as well to make a very good sanding and a very gentle and soft sanding, we have a good brush where we can support our abrasive. So we know exactly how much we sand and how good we will sand it. So please take a look at that. Enjoy the video.
Okay. Everything we do here in Flextron, we strive to be as flexible and ergonomical as possible. One of the new things we have developed here is also a manual machine, a handheld machine, but this can also actually be run by a robot if you imagine that the robot is grabbing the arm here. But we will show you later on how it works. The target with this machine is again to help the operator, no lifting, and a very flexible solution. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, what you can see here on our, maybe you can see it on our disc head, is that we have a little bit angle of the sanding. It's because when you have that, it's quite easy to handle when you use it as a manual sanding. So this is one of many good things with the Flextron sanding system. Yeah, here we have another hand tools hanging in an arm. So the weight is more or less 0. We can have it with the cylinder head for profile sanding, or we can change to a disc head with our snap lock. So, and now ready. Here we have the disc sander, and the disc sander is quite good for surface sanding, wood sanding or lacquer sanding, but it's also a very good solution for make sanding on the profile over to the surface, so you have a more uniform area. As well, we can use it for the mold pieces for legs or other things. Again, here you see the surface is very good sanded, and as well the radius is on a very high quality level. Anyway.
Another thing which we do a lot here in Flextron and use a lot here in our showroom is this machine. This machine is a very versatile machine. As you can see here, it's set up with different diameters and different sections for different kind of sanding. It can be set up in every possible way. And one of the things which are very important with our tools in general is the flexibility. So if you want to change something on this machine, well, if you want to change brushes on a machine like this, you simply take up the rubber ring, take brushes out, slide new ones in, put it back on, and then you're good to go. The next video we're going to show you is going to be something where we're showing into different profiles. And I don't know, do you have anything to add, Jens?
Yeah, you can say that. What you shall look at when you shall look at the video is how the system is following the profile. And again, this is the way we can do it is when we build up our system with a different cut and a different height of brush. So we exactly have the right setup, the right height, the right cuts in the paper. And beside that, we're also running with low RPM. So the low RPM do that the brush is sanding, not just touching, no, we are sanding it. So take a look at that. Yeah, here we have our Sand Perfect 600. It's a very nice machine, very flexible machine, where we can have on one side here, where we have a big drum with one grid size there and one grid size here. Even outside here, we can have our disc sander to do some edge sanding here. The other side here, we have a bigger drum, and then we go down to a smaller one and a very small one for very difficult inside profile. On that way, you can use that machine for many different things. The machine here, you can adjust the speed up and down, and as well you can move up and down the shaft so you have the right position when you should do the sanding. Very good machine.
The machine can also be set up in many different ways, as we just showed you. Among other things, you can see that here we have horsehair brushes, and here we have tactical brushes with a sport brush and everything. But typically, if we are sanding kitchen cabinet doors, or if we are sanding chair parts or furniture parts, we're doing one side for wood sanding and the other side for lacquer sanding, which is a very common setup. The next video we're going to show you will be on chair parts. I don't know if you have anything to add there.
Yeah, we can say that on the side here we have a straight head, but if you want to be more exactly and more precisely on the sanding, you can also build up a head where you have the radius in the sanding head, so you're following the totally profile exact what you want. That can also mount on this on the Sand 3600.
You can see that this one bends a little bit. We can bend it even more, all after what profile you have in your system, what you need.
Yes, the next test we'll do is on a quite special items. It can be different things. This is from a guitar, where we have very small and complicated profile. But even with such a small profile, we very often use a bigger diameter, because a bigger diameter can and a small width can go in there, and as bigger diameter you have, as better working angle you have on the system. So take a look at that, and again, take a look how the sanding system is following the profile. We're using different type of diameter here because there are different area with different small or bigger profile.
We have also made solutions for robots. We have made solutions both for the cobots, the one where you can operate it and use it without any fence, and it's very easy to program. But we also have a heavier ice and heavy version. The ice and heavy is a plug-and-play solution that you can put on all existing robots. So if you have a robot standing somewhere collecting dust, well, it can easily be changed into a standing robot. And the same goes for the cobot system. The cobot system we have here behind me, it's a system which goes on any kind of cobots. Here we have it on UR5, which is very easy to program. And so it's the entrance of robotic into sanding is very easy together with the brush, because the brushes are very flexible, which means that it doesn't really matter if you're 1 or 2 millimeters off. So therefore, to set up a brush sanding solution together with a robotic solution is very simple. We'll try to show you a few videos here we have made.
Here we have a universal robot where we use one of our other tools, ice and cobot tools, for a light robot solution. We also have another tool for a more heavy robot. On this universal we can mount a cylinder head, and as well we can put our disc head on if we need that. Another thing as well is that we can mount a gripper, so you can grip the pieces and make sanding on, for example, our Sand Perfect 600. Here we have set up wood sanding for mold seats, quite heavy sanding job, but there's power enough in that type of robot to do that sanding. Yes, the next test we'll do is on our feature machine here. That machine, together with the Sand Perfect 600 you just have seen here, we can more or less do what all the machines on the market can do. It means that if you need a new machine and you're not sure which way you shall go, you can send items to me here or to us here in Flex in Denmark. We can set up different sanding solution, so you can see what is best for your items, and out from that you can decide which type of machine you will run with. When you look at the test at the machine here, you should look at again how the machine is working, how the machine is following the profile and sand all over, so we get this quite uniform surface and sanding. As well, one of the things we would like to do every time is that to prepare the pieces on the best way. Therefore, the wood sanding is nearly the most important sanding we should do, because then we can make the surface as good as possible, and all edges and profile, it will be round and break a little bit if you need that. So please take a look at the video. Here we have our test machine where we do a lot of tests for bigger items, door, cabinet things. We have built up where we have two disc head going one in one direction, and then we as well have here two more disc head going the other way. It means that again we can make surface sanding, we can sand the radius, we can sand some profile. And next step is we have opportunity to do sanding with cylinder head as well. It can build with one or two heads. And then we have the opportunity here as well to make structure. Structure system we use for veneer and solid wood, floor and furniture. We have some kitting doors here where we want to do the wood sanding, make the finishing on the product, before we start the treatment. And then we have another type where we have the treatment with staining and lacquer.
Well, one of the things that I hope that you realized was actually how slow the brushes were turning. With that RPM and that speed, we can have an extremely long lifetime. So, and the reason why we are able to do that with that speed is, first of all, we have a very stable brush which are able to keep the abrasive in the places where we need it to be. You'll also be able to see it in the next video. The next video will be on a door like this. So it's not only profile which is going inside, but we can also sand profiles which are going on the top. As you also will see inside here, is that we only have equipped every second groove. We can also allow ourselves to do that because the brushes are so stable as they are. But it also gives us space enough to get inside the profile that we need and to sand in the area where we need without the brushes get in each other's way. So see the next video.
Here we have a typical door for houses. We have flat on one side and then we have with profile here. I'll try to make the test on the side where we have the profile. Yes, now there was a sanding test on the surface. And of course, if you have some questions, please let us know and we will try to answer it. Also on the doors there is a side, it's an edge we need to sand on. We have different ways to do that. One way is to use our disc head, as you will see a test on a little bit later on. But if you have complicated it, we can also build up some special head exact for your profile. So we can attack on the same way all over the profile. We have one here where we have a straight one, an incline, where you can do straight and the radius. As well, we can just make straight, and also we can make combi, where we have two different diameters on one shaft. This is the things we will show you is for wood sanding, but of course there are some lacquer sanding. Lacquer sanding can be done by some stack sanding or on a manual like our Sand Perfect 100. There are many different ways to do that, but we can give you advice on the way you like to do it. Things where you can mount these different things special for your wood sanding. It can be on a edge gluing machine, it can be edge spanning machine or double intender. We just need a shaft making rotation, and where we need to control the rotation as well. The things we'll show you here is that you have one disc going one direction and another disc going the other direction. This means that we can touch all the different corners and profile. Here we have we call an edge sanding solution where we use two discs to make sanding on the straight surface, and as well sanding the radius up and down, and as well to the corners. Here I want to show you a very simple, easy way to make sanding on the straight edge break these edge without touching the surface on a very gentle way.
So I hope that you realized that when we're sanding, and when we are sanding with brushes in general, it's about having as much abrasive in touch with the surface as possible. Sometimes to have as much abrasive in touch with the surface as possible means that you actually need to take away half of the amount of brushes, because then you can dig deeper in. As you also saw in the last video, we could see that we can do that without touching the surface, simply because we have a good control of the brushes and we know exactly how much pressure it can take. But we can only allow ourselves to give that pressure because there is space in between. And of course the solutions that Jan was just mentioning earlier on can also be mounted on CNC machines, which we have sold bunches of solutions for. And that's a good way to start and a good place to start, simply because the earlier in the process where you can start with a good quality, the easier it will be to end up with good quality as well. The last video and the last things that we are going to show you doesn't really have much to do with sanding. It's our structuring program. And I know that a lot of manufacturing plants today are working with solutions where they need to take the softness of the wood away in order to make it to have a rough surface. Our system is a little bit different than what's common in the market. First of all, we are able to do with a big diameter. We can use a very big diameter which makes a lot of pressure, and we can have more flexibility in the solutions. The two types of brushes we're using is either a brass brush or a Tynix brush. You can see in both cases we have not cut them clean. And that's a little bit unique with the Flextrim system, because by having an uneven top means that we will dig slowly into the surface and remove it step by step. If you have a solid one that you need to pressure into the surface, it's very, very difficult. But by having them uneven, it'll work its way into the surface. Look at the next two videos, they might give you an idea what I'm talking about.
Here we also have a floor where we have oak veneer. Here I want to make some structuring to take the part of the softwood away.
Well, that was the last video we're going to show you. So if you have any questions, ask them now. We are here and we would really like to answer them in the best possible way. What we've been talking about here, we have always been mentioning the fact that having a stable brush and having the best possible abrasive is very important. So you need to have a good brush. And you need to have a stable brush in order to be able to get into the corners and control your sanding. Because if you're not able to control your sanding, you have to work with high speed. When you start working with high speed, you're ruining your brushes, and it's only your supplier of brushes who are actually happy in the long run. So, just to show you a few examples from the market, there's something like this, which we see a lot. You can see the brushes are put in bunches. But here, if you put it in like this, you're more able to have a stable brush. And if you have a stable brush, you can get it into all the curves, even with low speed. And that's important. So therefore, we don't need to fill up the course completely. So the running cost will be significantly lower by having a good brush to start with. Do we have any questions, Martin? There's one.
They're coming.
1 second. Question from Zoom. Okay, Sam is writing that he has some questions which are coming up, and we'll do our best to answer them in the best possible way. So as soon as they're there, Martin, will you read them out for us?
Okay, thank you very much for watching. It was a big pleasure for me to show you our things in our showroom, and our showroom is open for your items as well. So if you need anything, any test, just let us know. We are ready to support you and give you advice.
And we have offices not only in Denmark but also in Sweden, in Germany, in the United States, in China. So no matter where you are, we should be able to support you around the clock. So, and in Germany we have more or less the same setup as we have here. But it seems like the questions are waiting, but otherwise we'll simply answer the questions that you might have via email, and feel free to contact Sam or contact us, and we'll be answering you as soon as we get the questions. So all for us now.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.